Hello, this is Greg Boss, and this is a demo for Giselle over at the Weill Corning Imaging Group in New York. We spoke last week about some options for time and attendance and possibly even scheduling. And I'm making this quick demo to tell you a little bit about how it works in the SwipeClock world. We basically have three types of clocking in and clocking out. You can do it in a physical clock, which can be mounted on the wall and by the door, and people that are in the office can do a biometric clocking in. I'll show you a picture of a couple of clocks. This is our TimeWorks Touch, and what that is our touch allows you to do the smart punching, both in and out. You can do the scheduled breaks and punch in and out for meals, as well as if you were having folks transfer back and forth between offices, and they can do a transfer out and transfer in at the other. Those both, this clock has our punch logic in there. Punch logic allows you to basically have it be the same as the mobile, as well as the same as the web touch, or the web clock in. This clock itself is quite nice from a setup standpoint, as it is Wi-Fi enabled, as well as you can hardwire right to your network. So you don't necessarily need to make plans to put it by a network jack as well. So that has Wi-Fi. It's really the top of the line. Punch in, use the fingertip. Simple process. Our next set of clocks are the Z33 and Z34 series. They're the same biometrics, so you can avoid buddy punching as you would clock in and clock out. But they're basically just in and out, right? There's no transfer. There's none of the smart prompts on there. So it's basic services, but also still biometric. Now, there are less money on those, and I'll get you pricing on both of those, Giselle. So that is our first method of punching in. The second we have available is through the cell phone. I'd show you the cell phone here, and it works on a tablet as well, just like the picture shows, whether it's a phone or a tablet. You just need to have an iOS for Apple and or Android software to make those run at this point, is the two platforms that we have. But you can do quite a bit, or you can do as little or as much as you want really on the mobile app. This is a toggle switch. You clock in, hit submit, clock out, hit submit. When you clock in, you can actually customize these to read what location you're at. So if you're on site number 1, or if you're doing a different back front office at site number 1, then you can submit, and you're clocked in. So now that you're clocked in, basically this is the employee view, and I'll be the employee for now. You can see the pay period and how many hours you've worked. If you're doing accruals or not in the system, you can have that happen. The employee can see how much time they have off that's been accrued previous, and they actually, if you don't do the accruals with SwipeClock, then you can actually have all those taken off, right? So it's not an option if you don't want that. They can do time off requests in that, so it's all done electronically. The manager can manage that on the back end through their phone or the web as well. If you want to see the time card for the employee, it shows I have a missing punch, probably because I clocked in twice just now on the demo, but someone's already clocked in for me today to do some more demos. But you'll see the little percentages that are in there as well. When they're yellow, that means they're waiting for approval. So each employee approves what they push as a timesheet to their manager. So I haven't pushed any of that, so that's why it's still yellow. But the green will show that the manager has approved it. So that shows you your time off schedule. If you do scheduling with us, it'll show you what you're scheduled to work here once that schedule is published. Now, if you want to see the manager or supervisor view on the mobile, they will be showing how many of their employees are currently clocked in, how many time off they have, and how many people have requested time off. So Tommy on this one has requested those times off in the system. Now, if you're not doing that, then that won't be there. It'll show all of his employees and their information, right? Phone numbers, etc., any information that you really want to have in there. It'll also show who's clocked in and who's clocked out in any given time. So you can, at a minimum, know who's available. And if something comes up and there's an emergency, you can look right on your phone and say, oh, hey, Greg's here, and we should be able to find him. Now, the manager has access to view all the time cards, right? If you want to take a look at Brandon's, you can see what he's done as far as punching in this week. So he's currently clocked in today, still working, and then approve him once it's all done. So simple and easy to do that as a supervisor as well as as an employee. So that's the second method of being able to clock in. First, obviously, was the physical clocks. Second is the mobile app. And then I'll show you, you can do it through our web clock as well. So when they come in, they sit down on their computer, they'll all have a specific login to themselves, and you can do the web clock. If you hit web clock as I just came in there, it'll show you that, but for demonstration purposes, I just want to show you what it looks like. But as you see, it's the same interface that was on the physical clock as well as the mobile device. So clock in, clock out, right? Start break, start a mill, transfer. Very simple and easy. And this actually happens to be the employee portal. So they'll have each employee, whether they punch in with the web clock or punch in with the time clock and the mobile, they'll all have this information real time. So their dashboard is going to read how many hours they've worked this pay period. If they have any missing punches, which means they've got to go back in and correct and edit their punch, and then obviously get manager's approval for that. Edits made, it'll show you if you've made an edit and any notes that have been put on. Okay. They also have access to the web clock, like I showed. Their time card is going to show you that, and it shows you the missing punch right here. So simple and easy, stands quite easy out, right? So you know if he's in or not. If you have accruals and you're having us monitor that and track that, it's going to show each employee how much time they have left as far as their vacation balance. You can obviously request that in the phone like we just showed you, or right on the computer. So they have 6 hours of paid time off. If you want to request time off, you go right here and select it. The manager will then receive a notification real time as to how they want to handle that. And I'll show you what it looks like in the manager view here in just a second. And then their personal information, which as you see, there's no vital information. You establish a code for the employee. You probably have something in place already. The name, date they were hired, but there's no vital information. So very secure and safe that way. So from an employee standpoint, you have the dashboard as well as the punching. This will be the dashboard looking for your employees. Now, you can set it up however works best for your business and modify it that way so that you have pardon me, so that you have as many people rolling up to whatever management you want, right? Whether you do it by location or by supervisors, however you want to do that. There's no extra charge for admin rights, right? It's just a per user charge per person, whether they're an employee or an admin. But the dashboard for the management, it shows this particular demo has 33 employees. So it shows 26 of those are clocked in. Right now there's a missing punch, so somebody didn't clock in or didn't clock out. There's no punch notes at this point for today's pay period as the start of pay period. It helps you with your overtime as well, because if you want to minimize that or make sure that you're not paying overtime for people that shouldn't have it because of inaccuracy, we also can help track that as well. So you go right into the dashboard, and it's timed me out, so I'll get back in there. So it shows the same information as the dashboard, which you go to this dashboard to see that one. But basically, you go through here and everything's just menu driven, simple and easy. Total employees clocked in is 26, which we saw on the dashboard, missing punches. If you're doing a new employee setup, you just start here, add new employee. You can do it either way, and all you're doing is information, whether the employee is going to have the web clock, or is it going to be a mobile app, or is it going to be on a physical clock. So you set it up per employee how you want them to be able to do their time. Current pay period, it shows all the employees that roll up to this manager. This one is 33. If you did all 400 under one, obviously that would be quite large, but if you divide it up by site and by manager, you know, there might be a manager that just has these 5 people and that's all they would see. Right? If we look at my time, it's got a missing punch. So if I want to get that fixed, I can edit that. And I was out at 5 today, and it should let me do that even though it's not 5 o'clock here in Salt Lake City. And then you can write a note, fixed punch. So simple and easy. And then once it's been edited, it'll dog ear that. So you just highlight over that, and it'll show who has edited it. So you can go back and say, why did we not get this right the first time, right? And that's just for the one employee. If I go back to the last week's pay period, you can see there's these little dots here. Those are showing where I punched in at, right? So if I want to see that, I just hover over the options, show mobile punch details, and it'll show every time I punched in on the mobile app from a GPS locator, right? And looks like I punched in at home, so you now all know where I live. And so then at that point, I can have a conversation with the employee as to where they were. They said they punched in at 8 o'clock and they weren't in the office, but they were actually around the corner at Starbucks, but they thought they'd get credit for being there anyway. So you can say, hey, we're going to take 15 minutes off because you punched in somewhere else. Just to help you minimize any errors, anything that way. One more thing I want to show you from that standpoint is and you've got a lot of options to see in pay period that way. Oh, if you do accruals and do time off, we give you a little instructions page, but you can see all the people that have requested time off, and this will just go straight to the manager. You can approve it, right? Show them why, or you can reject it. You can conditionally approve as well, and all those records will stay. So if somebody asks for 8 hours, but they only have 4, you can say, yeah, I'll give you 4. You can have the whole day off, but I can only pay you for 4 hours. from a reporting standpoint, we have a handful of canned reports that come with it, and we can do a custom report if needs be based on your business as well. Though what it does is it gives you a lot of reports. If you hit the summary report, this will tell you from the prior period who, with all the employees. It makes it simple and easy to prepare the reports for payroll. So it gives you the whole pay period, how many hours, at what wage, and then just export it right to a CSV and then to Excel to get ready to send to payroll, whether that's through the hospital or whatever payroll agency. And a lot of them we're integrated with, so it may be even easier than that, but still that's 2 or 3 clicks and you can have your payroll documents to that. There's about, I don't know, 1,500 features that the system has. And so we are able to do as much customization as you might need as you get into that. And we'd love to show you more. Love to have you talk to, you know, as many folks as you want. But our costs are simple and easy. We charge per user per month. We charge an implementation fee of one time to set everything up and have it all done and walk you through and actually stay with you for the first payroll or 2. And then also after that, you have our customer service, which is available to you after that. And the clocks, the physical clocks themselves, I'll also have a lifetime warranty on them, and you do buy those clocks up front, so you own them. But if something does go wrong with them, other than physical abuse, they will be replaced free of charge. So I look forward to working with you. I look forward to having you be introduced to some of my team as we move forward in the process, and we can certainly help and see if there's something that we're missing, right? Something that might be unique to you, so that we can make sure that we take care of you and make your timekeeping accurate and easy. Feel free to call me if you have any questions. My number is 801-937-9080. Thank you all for having a few minutes to listen, and hopefully it wasn't too painful for you, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Take care.